Right, talking of Lady Diana, Prince Charles could be interviewed by investigators from the charity Watchdog over claims he accepted millions of euros handed over in a suitcase, in cash, and also stuffed into carrier bags.
Fortnum and Mason carrier bags, no less. Clarence House says the donations from a former Qatari Prime Minister were immediately passed to charities and correct processes followed. There's no suggestion of wrongdoing. Well, joining us now is royal biographer Tom Bower, who says the future King's reputation is at risk, while the former press secretary to the Queen, Dickie Arbiter, says it is unfair to question his credibility. Very good morning to you both.
Morning.
Dickie, the Queen would never stand there taking Fortnum and Mason bags stuffed with euro notes.
Let's put this into context. First, it's something that happened between 2011 and 2015.
She wouldn't have done it then.
Hang on, why is it rearing its ugly head today? A cash donation rather than a bank draft, the optics are not brilliant, but if somebody is going to hand you a cash donation, you're not going to turn it down. The Financial Conduct Authority has not been brought into the frame. The Charity Commission has not been brought into the frame. There's no suggestion of any wrongdoing. So I'm not terribly sure why everybody's getting so excited about it. Yeah, it is unusual to hand a cash donation. Normally it's a bank draft or a bank transfer, but this is unusual. Probably accepted it on the basis of not wishing to offend. Did he actually...
I had to take the money, otherwise I might have insulted the person who was giving it.
Did he actually take the money himself, or I doubt it was carried into his office. So let's put it all into context.
Tom, why are you getting so upset about this? The poor guy had to take it because otherwise it just would have caused a diplomatic incident.
What I wonder is, as he carried the bag, took the bag in hand, whether he said, "Thank you very much," or did he say, "Where's this from?" I mean, who walks around London, not once or twice, but 3 times, with a bag stuffed with 1 million euros in 500 euro notes? It is absolutely bizarre, and I think it's absolutely scandalous. I'm really appalled by his behaviour and his judgment, and I think there must be more and worse to come, because we've had the terrible example of the allegation of Fawcett, this letter to the Saudi businessman offering nationality and a knighthood in return for money. We know that Prince Charles has a terrible reputation of giving access in return for large sums. He's mixed with the most undelightful people. And I just think that this is another example of appalling judgment. And if there's one more example, clearly people are leaking it. Clearly people are angry with him in his entourage. And he's just let the side down badly.
Dickie, you allude to that as well in your first point. Why now? There is, if it happens this long ago, there is somebody who wants it to be in the headlines right now.
There's obviously somebody who wants it to be in the headlines. Would it have made headlines if it had been a bank draft, if it had been a bank transport? No, of course it wouldn't. But because it is alleged that it was cash, it is Tom's alleging that the cash was handed to Charles in his office. We don't know that. I can't hardly see a former Prime Minister of Qatar walking in with 2 Fortnum and Mason carrier bags in one hand, a suitcase in the other, into Charles's office and saying, "Here, here's 3 million."
Dickie, that is exactly what did happen. Not once.
That's right. That's exactly how.
3 times.
It's allegations that.
But Clarence House hasn't denied it, Dickie. That's the problem.
Clarence House haven't denied that the money was there.
They haven't denied it was handed to him personally. That is absolutely critical.
I think Clarence House, says Prince Charles did then hand it over to his team.
Exactly.
At some point, it was in his possession.
It's not just shocking optics.
But the thing is here, we're talking about Qatar. We're talking about... Now, there's no allegation specifically on this particular sheik, but there have been allegations about people very high up in this royal family at Qatar and people in Qatar who have funded terrorism in the past. There's allegations of corruption in those countries. We know there's a terrible human rights record in those countries. I mean, to accept £3 million in euros, I mean, there's a huge influence now by the Qatari royal family on the King of England, future King of England.
It is obviously seen as a huge influence, but are we going to question every single donation from every quarter given to charities? Because charities depend on donations. whether we like it or not, where they come from.
But the point is that we
to make sure that every
and in case Charles's charities are just exceptional. He's taken money from a lot of very, very reliable, controversial, sometimes dishonest people, foreign people, who have bought access to him, who have paid to sit next to him at lunches and dinners, who pay to go to his house in Scotland or dinners in Buckingham Palace.
You're talking about the Fawcett issue.
Fawcett, and before that, Robert Higden. I mean, the truth is that Charles has, to raise his money for his charities, has done some things which are completely unacceptable. And I just think he is now, with his condemnation of the flights to Rwanda as appalling, he's now stepping into controversial territory again. This is the one thing the monarchy mustn't do, and he is really bringing the monarchy into disrepute. And he's got to be very, very careful now.
He has got to be careful. You are suggesting he's bringing the monarchy in disrepute. He just expressed an opinion. Everybody's entitled to express an opinion.
No, they're not. No, the future King of England is not entitled to criticise.
He is not king
government.
Yet.
Even Prince of Wales, he's not allowed to criticise the government's
Dickie,
policy.
things will change, won't they? Particularly on political opinions. You can't imagine him doing that when he is king. But I just wonder whether other things will have to change, whether Prince Charles might decide that he takes money from different people for the foundation, for the charities, or whether he doesn't head these charities.
He will always head those charities. Once he becomes king, the charities presumably will, because they are the Prince's foundation, they will presumably pass to Prince William, unless he has a different idea of what sort of charities he's going to head up. But as far as the charities accepting money, they will have to look into it. Most seriously, the charity commissioners might well look into it. Financial Conduct Authority has not come forward, said anything.
Westminster Bank, it's Monday morning. It's Monday morning at 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
they haven't woken up yet.
It's 8:31 to be fair. So they've had an extra 31 minutes. Thank you both very much indeed. Good to see you.